Most students lose points in the IELTS exam not because they have a poor English, but because they don't have a clear strategy. Let me show you what that looks like. Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Bruno Gallo. I'm the founder of Unique University Experience, and I've helped thousands of students to study abroad and successfully prepare for the IELTS exam. Today, I'm here to talk to you about one of the most common mistakes that students make in the writing section of the IELTS, which is using a poor grammar and vocabulary. But before we start, I would like you to subscribe to our channel and tap on the notification button so you're not going to miss any of the lessons on these IELTS series. And then if you want to go any further, you can tap the link below and join our IELTS Success Workshop. Here, we will reveal all of the tips and advices to successfully pass the IELTS exam and hit that band 7+ that you deserve. Okay, now we're ready to go. Okay, so one of the biggest mistakes that students make in the writing section of the IELTS is using a poor grammar and vocabulary. I've seen thousands of students studying very hard for weeks and weeks or even months and then losing points just because they were not prepared on the grammar part or they were using a poor vocabulary. You will lose a lot of points if this is not accurate and appropriate in each section of the writing, both in task 1 and in task 2. So we want to make sure that we're going to nail this. So in terms of grammar, the most common mistakes that I often spot are missing the S on the third person, which is very, very common. A lot of you make this mistake. Sarah walk in the park every day. No, Sarah walks in the park every day. I know it sounds very silly and it's only a single letter, but this will cause you a loss of points. So you want to make sure that you're going to nail this. Other mistakes that I spot are using wrong tenses in the verbs, particularly in the past participle and especially with irregular verbs. I have wrote a book. No, I have written a book. So all of these mistakes will pull your band score down. For this reason, in our IELTS preparation courses, we have added some extra material for you to access specifically on the grammar section. This covers linking words, tenses, structure of the sentences, and we also have irregular verbs, which is kind of a hot topic for you guys that we always ask. I can't remember what is the past simple or the past participle of certain verbs. We've got a specific section to practice these, to memorize them, and help you elevate your English and your grammar level to nail the IELTS part in the writing section. Now, I don't want to be talking too much about grammar because this is something that you can simply study theory and practice exercises and will help you push your level up. But something that I want to spend a few minutes on now, it's using the right and accurate vocabulary. Some students use some words interchangeably, thinking that they are synonyms and make mistakes. You want to make sure that you use appropriate and relevant vocabulary in each section of the writing for both task 1 and task 2. Let's have a look. Okay, when we talk about vocabulary, there are a few things that you need to keep in mind. So one of the mistakes that students often make, it's using always the same words, so they are being repetitive. This is something that examiners don't like. They don't want you to use always the same words. Sometimes the students think, oh, that word, it's very important in this essay because we're talking about research. So I'm going to say research 1,000 times. No, this is a big mistake. Avoid repetition in your essay. Try to use synonyms, alternative words, or expressions that will come across with the same message. And for this reason, something very important is to learn how to paraphrase. Paraphrasing, it's a very important skill that you will need to use during the IELTS exam, and it will help you to elevate your band score. Paraphrasing is something that we are covering specifically in many different exercises in our IELTS prep courses, and we will teach you how to paraphrase, when to paraphrase, and where to insert paraphrases in the right section of your writing. In addition to this, something that I would like to tell you, it's about the style. So when you are writing, you want to be using a neutral and formal style. Now, I'm not going to say too much about this because we'll have a dedicated video about the writing style, but make sure you're using neutral and formal style. Okay, other things that you want to pay attention are the use of collocation words, which, if you don't know, you can have a look in our IELTS prep courses. We teach you how to use collocations, when to use them, and choosing the most appropriate ones. In addition to this, we have plenty of exercises onto learning synonyms, and so to broaden out your vocabulary and using something that is relevant and accurate in each step. Okay, and then finally, in terms of vocabulary, something that is very important, it's the use of linking words. We have covered this in the previous video, but I wanted to highlight the importance of linking words to join ideas in sentences, join paragraphs, and making the structure of your essay very nice, fluent, and very easy to read so that the examiner will be more prone to give you a higher band score. Okay, then last but not least, you want to make sure you understand the meaning of every single word in task 1 and task 2 of the essay questions, because this could be a big problem. We have said that in the reading part, it's not so bad if you're missing 1 or 2 words because you help yourself with the whole context of the text. In the writing section, especially in the IELTS essay question, you want to make sure you understand every single word, because that could lead to a wrong answer and then putting your band score down. I know it sounds very silly and easy, but understanding words in the IELTS essay question, it's critical and fundamental if you want to nail the IELTS exam. Okay guys, so this was my last piece of advice for today's lesson. I hope you found this lesson useful and relevant if you're preparing for the IELTS exam. If you want to follow more content about us, you can always subscribe to our page or follow us on our social media accounts. I hope to see you very soon.